All right, so everybody, welcome to the conversation of the planets. That's exactly what I'm going to call it, the conversation of the planets. You already know me, myself, Nikki. If you don't, I'm Nikki with Awareness Key, and I am so honored to have Crystal with Crystal's Ascensions on the channel with me. And we have a very important day tomorrow, which is December 13th for us here in the States. And we're going to discuss what's happening with the planets and what those conversations mean. So first up will be Crystal, and she is going to discuss her segment because both of these things are happening tomorrow, December 13th, 2021.
Yes, and I'm so grateful for Nikki teaching me about Western and Vedic astrology and the difference between the two, and the fact that we'll be focusing on the Western astrology and how it relates to everything going on with us right now. So yeah, what we are talking about first is December 13th and Mars entering Sagittarius. So one of the things that have really stood out to me the most while researching this is the fact that Mars has been at home in Scorpio for the last month. And with this energy, we've been going internal, getting very deep. A lot of us may have been very conflicted with ourselves, going through a lot of internal conflict, or just really distancing ourselves from other people, going within. And a lot of us that are working on our spiritual path know that this is a critical time for personal development and working through all of the things that we need to work through in order to like ascend and transform and go through change. So with Mars moving into Sagittarius tomorrow, this is going to bring us so much freedom. We're going to be feeling a lot more spontaneous and able to move forward. Whatever you've been holding back on pursuing has been whatever you've been going through internally. Now is the time to put that down and to literally just move forward with your path. Follow your soul's path. Let all of the wisdom come to fruition right now and bubble up to the surface so that you can use it to push forward, because Mars and Sag is all about taking action. Mars loves being in the sign of Sagittarius because it's more spontaneous and more carefree. So you're less likely to worry about the judgments of other people and all of that stuff because you've been working on yourself. The internal stuff that you've been going through lately has prepared you for pushing forward and moving on into this new zone where you're able to like embrace your passions and just try new things. And like, I love the analogy that Nikki, you gave me the other day about like a horse being so excited and like having his two front legs up in the air and just kicking back and, like just totally ready, just ready to go, ready to get back on the path and get moving. So that's what we're going to be seeing. And I know it's also really important to highlight the fact that we have been through these energies before. It comes around, I want to say, every couple of years where Mars is in Sagittarius. So like the most recent time that we had Mars in Sag was January of 2020. And just reflecting on that time for me, there was so many energies of like manifestations coming to fruition. I was going to concerts and live music and putting myself out there. I was being a lot more social. I was also very willing to be spontaneous and make last minute decisions and totally be okay with it. And I also want to say I was making a lot of plans for the future at that time. So it was setting foundations for the future and for the rest of the year, really, in 2020 of January, that time. Also, January of 2018, we went through this energy. I'm sorry, excuse me, December of 2018. And this was a very intuitive time for me. I was making a lot of connections with other spiritual leaders and going through like major transformation. And oh, I just got chills. That reminds me to tell you guys that your intuition is going to be on fire. You're going to, when I say passion and intuition taking off, like you are really getting aligned with your true soul's path and being driven to like exactly where you need to be, making connections with people. you know, who you need to connect with. And so there's a lot of good energy. That's when I first made the commitment back in 2018 of December of doing Tuesday videos, Tarot Tuesdays. So if you follow my page, Crystal's Ascension, you know that I like to do the Tarot Tuesdays. And back in December of 2018 is when I started that. So it's really cool to think back and to look at how this energy is here for us right now. And it's going to allow us to set the foundation, set the groundwork for so many future manifestations, and to have the passion and the desire and the drive, because Mars is all about the drive. It could be, you know, it's about your sex drive, it's about your passion, your drive, all of this driving energy. It's very forceful. So when you make a decision during this time, it could be very everlasting. It could be, you know, going on for years, like it has been for me with, you know, these Tarot Tuesday videos that I've been carrying on for so many years. It's important to know that as we're making so many changes in our lives, things don't always end up the way that you expect them to be. So just let that carefree energy to just flow through you, flow with it, make change, but then go with the flow and let go of the expectation. Because the last thing you want to do is to go at war with yourself. Because when you're at war with yourself, then you want to go at war with other people. So just try not to like create conflict within yourself. And if you are having any connections at this time that are falling away, like people that, you know, just aren't resonating with your energy anymore, try to let go with grace. Try to send gratitude to the connection so that you can really just free yourself from the burden that they have inflicted on you and your part in that burden. You know, too, be easy on yourself because it's a very transformational time. So I think that was
Nice.
a
Oh my
lot.
God. We're all brimmed up, Crystal. That's so crazy. Like, I already feel just listening to you speak about it, I already feel rejuvenized. Like, my battery feels like it's filling up because of the passion coming from you as you're relaying this. So I like that Mars is action oriented, and it seems like we're going to all get to shake a little loose from that scorpionic energy, which we need. Just a little bit of, you know, like you
Yes.
said, you were making decisions that were on the fly and you were cool with that. That's, some people don't normally do that. So to have that energy was really good. I love it. I'm excited. I'm excited for Mars.
Yay.
That was good. Okay. Okay, so on the very same day, I almost just knocked over my own shelf. On the very same day as Mars enters Sagittarius, we do have Capricorn leaving Sagittarius. So Sag has been a really big star during December's astrology. And remember I told you guys I never thought I would get sick of saying Sagittarius, but good Lord, you know, there's just a lot of energy there. So when we're having Mercury leave, the Mercury is our planet of our communication, our intellect. In ancient Greece, Mercury is considered the messenger of the skies. So there's a lot that goes into how we get our point across, and if there's poetic energy behind it or aggressive energy behind it. Now, when Mercury leaves the zodiac sign of Sagittarius, it's leaving this fly by night, I don't give a shit, it's all good, I don't care, think what you want kind of energy, and moving into a sign that is extremely serious, being Capricorn. So with that energy we do have here, Mercury being the teacher and Capricorn being the status quo. Capricorn having the ambition to overcome some of those communication or intellectual properties, wanting to have a solution for it. And Mercury being the transmuter is going to be able to take what we're thinking up here, what we want to get off our chest, and presenting it in a real grounded way, which is what Capricorn will offer us. So some things to look out for too with this energy is big announcements from like our governments or big announcements from teachers, our educational system. That's something we'll start to see happening over time where, where everyone's going to get serious about it. What's the solution? How can we fix it? This is a problem that we've been dealing with, and how can we get ambitious behind it? So I really like that this energy is coming through. With that all being said as well, there is a need to have some of those serious conversations with each other. Maybe wanting to get a few things off of our chest that we've held in for a while. Capricorn will give us the ability to get serious about it and get it out there. So I like that Capricorn is also giving Mercury persistence, because one thing that I don't know that we all discuss very often about Mercury is it can be very fly by night and kind of flaky. See, Mercury moves through the zodiac signs really fast, and it goes retrograde a lot. So Mercury can also bring distractions and miscommunication. When we're discussing it with Capricorn, there's a persistent energy of we got to get it right. So we're going to be double checking everything, making sure our wording is correct, making sure we are being careful with the communication, while also still being very serious about getting our point across. So I like it. I'm excited to see what gets cleared up in the grand scheme of things for the collective, what gets worked out in our own personal connections, and how everyone is going to be persistent about doing that. So it's good. It's all around good. Tomorrow is the activation day. So Crystal, what do you think about maybe talking to some of the people for a little bit and see if they're feeling the leaving of the Mars in Scorpio and the leaving of the very immature communication, I would say, rammed up communication of Mercury being in Sagittarius. So what do you think about that? You want to hang out for a little while and do that?
I would love that, open up to questions.
Yeah, I like that. I think it's good because Melissa, she's in our comments right now, and she was saying during your presentation of Mars in Sagittarius, she was saying that she was feeling that energy already of being motivated, feeling a little risky. And that's something that we can see after being bogged down by the heavy introspection of scorpionic energy.
Oh, absolutely. I noticed that Melissa said, send them off with grace. She quoted what I said. And that just tells me that there might be someone in your life that you are struggling with. And a lot of us might be going through that right now. In fact, I got this right before the video today in meditation, and actually I took a little nap and I had a dream. And in that dream, it became apparent to me that there are going to be a lot of people struggling with getting rid of people they don't want in their life anymore. So you might have a toxic connection, and that's that Mars energy that's in Scorpio. It's like toxicity and being at war with someone, but there's like no way to get them out of your life, no matter what you do or how you try. And it really causes a lot of anger. And so I just want to, that's when I said, send them off with grace. Try to find that compassion to handle the situation with dignity. And, don't let them take over your emotions. You are always in control of your emotions. And so I love the fact that Sagittarius is going to bring us that more carefree energy to help us be like, well, I don't care what you think. I'm going to do what I need to do, and I'm going to push forward. But just make sure that you're doing that in a way that you, like that saying, keep your enemies close, or your friends close, but your enemies closer. You want to keep your enemies at a place where you can manage them, because they're going to be lingering around. You can acknowledge them and just send them love, because whatever you do to them is going to be a reflection of what's going on with you internally. So that's why it's important at this time, I think, too, is to like meditate and reflect on your own behaviors and your own actions, what's driving you right now. And if you're being driven by anger and toxicity, that can distract you from being in alignment with your passion, because anger is just as passionate as love or anything else.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. And Capricorn energy is coming in to assist you with having that difficult conversation, because the Capricorn energy with Mercury, our communicator, the way that we're seeing the situation is going to want to have that hard conversation. So if we are dealing with something specific, like getting rid of toxic connections that we know may be holding us back, or the internal anger, some people may not even know. I find it interesting that during the Venus-Pluto conjunction, I was telling you, Crystal, that I was seeing people I hadn't seen in a lot of years, and with that, conversations came up, that we're the hard hitters. Like, did you know back in the day this, and it's just interesting that at the very same time that we are trying to push forward and having difficulty leaving certain people behind or getting them out of our energy, the Mercury and Capricorn will assist you in having that conversation, being able to vocalize why you're no longer able to move forward with the situation, whether it's a person, a job, an entity, even your own spiritual path. There is a lot of assistance in how we're seeing the situation and how we can fill people in on what we truly feel happened, or the way we feel inside, so assistance for sure.
Yep. And Sagittarius is definitely going to give you the confidence too, to voice yourself and to know your self-worth. You're like, I am worth, standing up for myself. So let's see. Sharon says she's been in an I don't care kind of mood lately and ended a connection graciously, but know that I don't want to let it go. Yes, you still want to hold on to it. It's like you want to end it so badly, but it's like you don't want to let it go in the same breath. I totally understand that. That's exactly what was coming through to me with this energy. And honestly, at least being aware of that is the first key, right? Awareness key, right?
That is the first key, because you're in control. Ultimately, Sharon, and for everyone listening, you're in control of how this life looks. We do get to pick and choose who we connect with and how long we connect with them. But those connections that we feel bound to, either karmically, soul contract, or energetically, they often are the ones that we do get that pent-up anger about. And so having Mars, the god of war, in the sign like Scorpio, which it's comfortable with its most harshest traits in Scorpio. See, Scorpio will not fight Mars on, let's go burn down that house. No, Scorpio's like, let's do it. Okay, Mars, you're cool. We got it.
Yep.
We're going to blow this bitch up. You know what I mean? But Sagittarius is more like, who cares? Who cares? I'm not worried about you. I have my own goals and ambitions. So it'll really support you. But I do feel for the collective, they should know that when it comes to having a connection like that, where it's best for you to let it go, but internally it's a struggle, you might get some insight or revelations on where that is coming from, because it's often more than not that we have things that have happened in our childhood, our past lives, that made us scared to let go or scared to hold on, because it's that line that you were talking about, Crystal, where love is just as strong as hate. They have such huge force behind them, is the same where holding on takes a lot of energies, as well as letting go. It's both are exertion of your own will and force,
So many chills. It is so true. Oh,
can you read Melissa's for us, Crystal?
Sure. Yeah. So Melissa said not only that, but when you said to accept the part that you played in allowing people to become a burden, it's literally people treat you how you let them. Boom. You got it. It's so weird listening to this because I've been so much more optimistic and upbeat. She said she even wrote herself a letter as if it were 15 years in the future, letting herself know what was coming. That's so cool.
That's big.
Power.
That's
right
big.
Melissa.
Who said that?
Wow.
Melissa said that?
Melissa said that, yeah.
Yeah.
That
okay, so you just created, Melissa, a future time warp for yourself, where that person is already free, already forgiven and forgiving, already abundant, already successful. You just sent your future person that confidence to be okay with how it played out. That Sagittarian energy is going to be very confident. Definitely. So Tracy told us,
Sorry.
thank you. That's really good. I cut off someone toxic and he continues to try to bring negativity. Although he continues to want to see me suffer, I truly only wish him well. Listen, it takes major
Good stuff.
maturity to wish someone well when they purposely try to make you suffer. And it's funny because before the live, Tracy, I was just telling Crystal about someone who I'm stuck with and bound with, who for some reason only wants to see a negative vibration between us. And the more that I stand my own ground in, I'm not going to let you turn me into an evil, ugly person. I'm not going to let you make me battle my own self, you know, on should I retaliate, should I accept, you know, should I forgive, the more empowered I feel. So Tracy, I'm very proud of you because that takes work. It takes work to get to that point of being so self-powered that you don't let someone penetrate that. You know, whatever they got going on, like Crystal said, it is more a reflection of them, less a reflection of us. You know, they're projecting that out.
Absolutely.
So it's easy to forgive a child for throwing a fit. You know what I mean? Like it's easier to forgive them.
So true. Sharon said a lot of internal conversations have been taking place, and I've struggled to follow my heart instead of my head. I've ignored other people's views, but still not been able to manifest what I want or move forward. That's tough. Yes. And I think that goes back to like a lot of what we've just said is like using this energy. First of all, number one, being aware that you're not able to make that shift, that internal shift from being at war with yourself, because that doesn't look good on you. You know what I mean? Like all that weight that you're carrying around and everything that you're going through, it's heavy, you know? And like right now is the best time to make that awareness shift and be like, all right, I'm ready to like start following my heart and lay down the foundation for what you did, what you want to see, like Melissa did with just like writing yourself a note from your future self, you know, and like laying down a better foundation. But what did you have? What came up for you on that one for Sharon?
Yeah, I think everything we just stated really does tie into it because that introspection of you looking at the fact that you can't shift out of the energy of battling. See, our heart and our mind, they will almost always have a different opinion because emotions and logic, they walk through different paths. They don't necessarily agree on a lot of fundamental things. But it's who wins that battle for you. If it's internal conflict, you have to ask yourself, okay, heart has 10 tallies, logic only has 3. Where can we trace when that started happening? Because a lot of us can trace that. I can trace when I started feeling that I wasn't valued for intellect versus physical attributes, right? I remember tracing that. I remember noticing when I switched into gears of wanting my intellect to be a brighter light than, you know, my physical attributes. So again, I feel the introspection that Scorpio offered you with Mars, the chance to really sit with yourself is good, but don't beat yourself up about it because right now you're being offered a chance to really take a hold of the click. If you really do want it, you're being offered tangible results with Capricorn energy. So again, it is up to you to get on that boat. It is a choice to get on. You know what I mean? Logic over heart, man.
Absolutely.
If you guys want to give feedback on this video of what you've been experiencing with Mercury and Sagittarius, that's foot and mouth syndrome, that's I don't give a fuck what you say syndrome, you know, and now moving into Mercury and Capricorn. So what was your experience with that? And then Crystal was discussing what was your experience with Mars and Scorpio, which it'll now be in a easier energy of Sagittarius. While we're all discussing that, I do want to also bring up the fact that we are spiritual beings and all of us that are here are focused on becoming more self-aware, becoming our best versions, being in alignment with people who are also cool with our best selves. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want you to not be okay with me progressing and working on myself. So who you're hanging out with is going to be important. But we oftentimes don't discuss the bigger scale of things, which is the collective energy. We do have something that is about to be announced or put on speakerphone. You know, like the way that I'm seeing it intuitively is, you know how we all get those flashes on our phone? Not an Amber Alert, but, you know, a flash on our phone where it's like, you know, weather service announcement, and everyone gets that message at the same time. I do believe that we will have some sort of announcement from our institutions and people of authority, which would be our government, you know, and they are making a very serious announcement because it comes with that Capricorn energy. I believe it will have something to do with our education system and, of course, what's been going on globally. Because Mercury is the teacher. Mercury wants to educate. Mercury wants to teach. Mercury wants you to learn. But Capricorn is saying this needs to be like real everyday stuff that like affects us, not just the woo, you know, spiritual stuff that we really do like to focus on. So I want us to keep our eye out for that as well. And I'm interested to see how it plays out, like what could be so important, you know, and will we feel that it's authentic? You know, that's something that comes up for me a lot when I think of Mercury communicating with Capricorn. And this did happen in 2020 with Mercury and Capricorn. So we'll see. We will see.
It's funny that you brought that up because one of the things that came up for me when I was doing this research is the fact that Mars in Sagittarius is like, fight for what you believe in, stand up for what you believe in and what you think is right. And so if you start seeing these announcements and you don't agree with it, don't stand by. You need to stand up for what you believe in, and you need to fight for what is right. Like, this is a pivotal time for us to like voice ourselves and insert ourselves where it's like absolutely most needed. So don't be afraid to fight for what you believe in. Everybody.
Crystal, you just made such a big connection for me, even for my own awareness about it. You just made a huge connection of the fact that, yeah, if we don't agree, Sagittarius and Mars will have no problem saying, oh, no, 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 no. You're taking it too far. You're being too serious. You're being too strict. Because Capricorn is an ambitious discipliner, you know? So it can be kind of harsh when you think about that energy conjoining with something like, you know, our government and our institutions and the people who are in positions of authority. So I love that you were like, don't be afraid, you know, to speak out against it. And that's something that I think the collective has been dealing with for a couple of years now, where anyone who is not with the status quo is automatically labeled something, you know, and the Sagittarian energy won't have you feeling like nervous or scared to crouch in and not want to be stand out or, you know, stand out-ish. But it is going to be interesting to see how that all plays out.
So true.
So I don't see any other questions or comments to address. Do you on your end?
No, I don't. So I love how Melissa said,
Okay.
I'm a Scorpio, and yes, burn it down. She's like, burn it down.
So Melissa is one of my babes, man. She's like, whoo, very, very intelligent, strong woman. And that's what I think of when I think of Scorpio energy, where there is a lot of intellect behind that madness per se. So don't think it's all for nothing, you know, but I am happy that Mars is moving into something a lot more sociable, more willing to joke around about it, you know?
Yeah. Right. Especially when it comes to something so serious like the god of war. You know, like we need to be a little bit lighter and a little bit freer so we can manage the stressors that like aggravate us on our day-to-day life.
And the ambition that comes with it, both Capricorn energy and the Mars energy is strongly ambitious. So you guys, whatever you want to work on, this would be the time to really put energy into it, really put some effort into it, team up with those who are interested in teaming up with. But other than that, put the work in. You know, you're supported by the planets that are conversing right now. You know, it's going to be good. So I love it. I'm happy we did this.
Exactly. And you just said it yourself. Like, let it be known that now is the time. If you want to partner up with other people, now is the time for you to do that. And connections are being made right now, and partnerships are being forged. So use this energy to create exactly what it is that you want to manifest, because there always needs to be some co-creators in what you're manifesting. You're going to know who's on your tribe, who's on your team, and it's just going to become so apparent to you. Call out to those people, because your tribe is coming in right now. So welcome them in with an open heart and accept all of the good that the universe has for you. That's all I got to say. Mwah. Love you guys.
Let's go. Let's get it. All right. Well, we love you guys. Thank you for rocking with us. And there's more to come with Crystal. You guys already know. I can't speak anymore, so I'm gonna go now. So thank you, Crystal. I appreciate you, love. You have a good rest of the night, and we will talk soon. Bye, guys.